All right, well, the celebration drink will be an apple juice or a Pepsi, perhaps. We get a chance to welcome in Jaren Jackson Jr., who he doesn't know this yet, but the best performance on the road, youngest player to do it since LeBron in 2004, scored 35-plus points. Welcome him here to Game Time Live. Jaren, congrats on a great performance. We were remarking on how comfortable you look on the floor. How much of that has come down to the help of Gasol, Conley, and the veterans who have kind of taken you along here on this early ride?
It's a credit to them because they really lead by example. Just by how they maneuver and how patient they are on the floor, I'm able to take bits and pieces, by watching them even in practice. And they just tell me to be patient because, I like to go real fast, and that doesn't always work in the league as I'm learning.
Jaren, Steve Smith, we talked before you got a chance to go to training camp. J.B. Bickerstaff, you talked about how much running. Just talk about what that coaching staff has done and put you in a position to be successful.
They do everything, man. They explain things to me on a very specific level in practice, so I understand why I'm doing things. And in the game, it kind of just meshes together. We don't do anything different that we didn't practice. And they give me the confidence to go out there and take the shots that I took today. And, they just want me to keep shooting. Even when I'm a little, passive, they just want me to keep being aggressive.
Jaren, the big three, the 4-point play opportunity, you were down 7 with 27 seconds left. You shot that like you looked like you knew what you were doing. Way more mature than your age. How much has it helped you as you've gone through this process, Jaren, to really be young and still learning yourself and not afraid of the moment?
You can't be afraid of the moment because then you'll shell up and you won't be ready. So that's what we signed up for when you decide to play at this level. And every time you're on the court, it's a big moment. It's not just at the end of the game. Every play matters. And, even at the end of the game, you got to be ready to at all times. You don't – coach draws up a play. If the shot's not for you, you don't know if the play's going to change. You don't know what's going to happen, so you always got to be ready.
Well, great game, Jaren. This is Vinny Del Negro. You had a tremendous game tonight, but I want to know about tomorrow. What are you going to work on tomorrow that bothered you tonight to improve your game? What are the areas you want to get better at?
A lot of things. I definitely got to get with coach to watch film first before anything, to really understand, because you can't really understand what you did right after the game because everything's just going through your head. So probably I'm going to soak my feet because my feet hurt a little bit. And I'm going to look at film and come up with ways where I could I felt like in the post sometimes I was rushing it a little bit. Mm-hmm. Maybe I got pushed off the block, where I didn't want it. Sometimes I even scored it and I felt like I could have made a better move and it might have just rolled in for me. So, there's just little areas, and I'm going to just take the win for now. Take the win, get on the plane, enjoy it. But then tomorrow we back to work because then, you got Philly the next day and all that.
Jaren, I had this quote that I want you to name the guy who's saying this right now. Shoot that ball, Chief.
Oh.
Who is that?
That's Chief. That's Jaren Jackson Sr. You already know. and he preaches that, and that really just exuberates confidence. He's telling me to always shoot it, whether coaches put me in position for the play, like I said, or not. You always got to be ready to do it.
Enjoy the soaking of the feet. Thanks for the visual. More importantly, congrats, man, on just a great performance.
He's a Spartan dog, Casey.
Take ownership. We're on the set talking, and we hear him say, they keep pushing me. No, do it. Don't worry about being the kid in school for the first. Go out. We trust you. Go do it. Pushing him. And that's important, right? Because it seems like he knows he's got the trust from those guys. Because if you get that little hot streak, you want to know, hey, look, you don't have to look over your shoulder. And that older guy is saying, what the heck are you doing?
There's nobody I've ever seen, played with, coached, or whatever that doesn't like a pat on the back once in a while when you're young and trying to find your way, like he said, which was impressive to me when he said, I was going a little fast. And as we know, as young players in the league, the game is so fast. Once the game slows down for him, he's only going to get better. So the things he works on and as he processes the game is only going to make him that much better. The size, the skill, the feel, the mentality, and he has those veterans saying, hey, young guy, do this, do that. I got your back right now. Do what you can do, and we're going to figure this out. Impressive interview by Jaren.
I'm curious, Griff, because we talked about this a bit at the draft, you and I, and all three of us, but when you grow up in the game the way that he did, how different, I know how advantageous it must be, but when you're looking at it from an organizational perspective, what kind of kid you're bringing in, work ethic, knowledge, and all of that, how much is that a help to know, okay, he might be 19, but I can put him out there and trust that he's going to have a certain knowledge and IQ?
Well, and Smitty knows his dad well, played with him, and I'm sure a big part of it, it's not that he had a father in the game. It's where his father was in the game. His father was being taught the right things too. So he was being exposed to that San Antonio system. He was being exposed to Coach Pop when he was a kid. And you almost pick that up by osmosis. You know, if you're over yourself when you're young, you're going to be over yourself when you're a veteran. And I think because he was raised by the Chief, he's got that mindset. You know, what I worry about sometimes with young players is that when they go to a lottery team that has been, quote, tanking, and they've got other young kids, who emerges from that group? It's really like survival of the fittest, because there's nobody that gives you what you need emotionally, particularly off the floor. And that's why you've seen Jaren take such a quick leap forward, because of the surrounding support system that exists in Memphis in the form of Conley and Gasol. But his coaches, that grit and grind system has been about something now for a while, and he's been indoctrinated into that. And when he was a kid, he got to see that work as well.
Yeah, for sure, Griff. And then you add that from his dad, who was on him hard and coached him hard as a dad and as a father, as a coach. And then he goes to Michigan State, where, you know, Tom Izzo's going to coach you hard. And I think the one thing is, Vinny said it best, is when you're a young guy coming in this league and you don't have veterans, other young guys, they don't usually step up. They're obviously kind of scared to be able to talk to one another. And the veteran's going to let you know right or wrong right then and there. Also, they're going to carry on to the bus, carry on to the locker room, carry on to taking you to dinner. And that's what you need. And I thought that was an excellent place for him. Love the coaching staff, knowing J.B. Bickerstaff, knowing Stackhouse, that they're going to coach him hard, and he can take that. Some rookies can't. And then I still go back to having a point guard that's been around. If you're big and you have a point guard as a veteran that don't mind sharing and getting you the basketball, and he plays the right way, and then you have Marc Gasol, it's only going to get better. Even through tough times, I think he'll learn quicker.
Speaking of big and a point guard, Smitty started as a point guard. Now, if he played, he'd be a big, right?
I just love you, Casey.